Hey everybody, it is Elsa932 on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. This is episode 8 of Love is Blind Brazil. Please make sure you hit that like, make sure you share it with a friend, leave a comment below, and subscribe to the channel. And if you wish, join our membership where we have wonderful member conversations. Right now it's on Monday nights, okay? Episode 8, we start with Lou. She says she is ready to say yes. And Mario Roberto says he feels pressured, that she wants him to say that he loves her back. He is uncomfortable because whenever he talks about his culture, it seems like she turns her nose up. She says she's willing to learn. He's like, no, 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 you tolerate it. She says, I tolerate, respect, and love you. That is all in the letter. He says your expressions and your words say totally different things. He says your big expressions do not make people want to get closer to you. And I said, is it the big expressions pushing people away, or are you trying to dim her shine, Mario Roberto? Because if you're trying to dim her shine, I ain't here for it. I ain't here for it. So he says he doesn't want to change her. Okay, good. You sounding good now. But he will be who he is. Now, she's cutting him off a lot, and I don't like that because I'm not really hearing the full sentence of what he wants to convey, because she's like, but. Calm down, Lou. Let him get it all out, please. Ed and Ida. Ida says, they all have a lot of expectations, and you don't want to create like your ideal and try to fit this person into a mold, is what she's telling Ed about the other couples. Leo and Lika, they meet his friends. And she's like, I want you to tell them that I didn't have time to get my nails or my hair done. This isn't how I usually look. And the friends roll up casual, y'all, in t-shirts and slacks. But they do call him the Smexy Dentist. I said, see, we knew that. We knew that about Leo. We knew he had a name out there. So the friend asked Lika, well, how do you plan on taking care of him? And she asked, why is that your question? She has no answer and asks them to pour the wine. But they remember. They pour the wine. She gets the first glass. Put a pin in that. We're gonna mention that later. They said, you haven't answered our question. She looks at Leo. You think I'm good to you, right? You think I treat you well, right? That's not an answer, Lika. And they cornered her real good. Leo, you got a good set of friends. So they asked, well, what bothers you the most about him? She's like, the fact that he's laid back. Lika, you got a real quick, clear answer to that. You know what you don't like about him, but you can't say what good you're doing with him. Okay, you can say what's wrong with him real quick. So the friends say that she seemed quiet. She ain't. Okay, but Lika tells them, I'm not. The friend said, well, what do you like most about him? She's like, besides his looks? And the friend said it best. She said, she's slippery. She's not answering anything. But his friend is a complete package. He's hardworking. He's good looking. He's about family. He is solid. Basically, the friend is like, well, what is wrong with her that she can't see this? So the friend asked Leo, what do you like the least about her? He said, golly, now he feels screwed. But he does share that he's worried about her jealousy. And it's a controlling jealousy. And no one belongs to anybody. He says what he likes most is that she doesn't have a lot of prejudice, that she likes a lot of people, and she's open to just about anything. She ain't, Leo. You being real nice to her, she ain't. She ain't, Leo. I can tell you that much. So the friend, says they feel like there's a connection there, but it sounds like the friend was like, there's a connection, but I don't know it's going to last. Leo says the issue is, that he is reasonable and down to earth, and it's giving her insecurities. Lika says she's already 51 and she wants someone the way she wants them. So no compromise. Lika says, I want nobody that ain't exactly how I want them. No compromise. She says she doesn't want to have to worry about if he likes her at her grown age. He does like you. He's still there. He's still there. But she says she cannot be herself and she doesn't feel the same from him. Lika says she cannot be herself if she does not feel the same emotions from him. Now the friends notice that Leo is taking care of Lika. She had the first glass of wine. He served her food first. He's like, if you are sensitive to that, You will notice when someone is taking care of you. I said, friend, Leo, that's some good friends right there. Friend, you said it best. Because she ain't going to notice that if you ask her if he took care of her, and she would never say she noticed that. So Lika says that they can live anywhere because their schedules are flexible. When the friends ask, well, where y'all going to live? But she's like, this relationship may continue, but is it worth it? Lou and Mario Roberto. Lou says she gonna handle the finances. She handling her finances, making a list. She pays all her bills via credit card. And Mario Roberto said that's a slippery slope. He ain't doing that. Credit cards are a slippery slope, and he's a minimalist. So they agreed to separate accounts at first. He says he has projects he wants to work on, and she's disappointed that he doesn't worry about his finances or handles them in a strategic manner. She's like, you want this to be forever. You have all these projects. You need to write it down, have a plan. And I'm wondering, does he not have a plan? Or is it that he doesn't plan the way you see planning, Lou? Okay. Nivea and Ricardo, he cooks. She really appreciates it. They both believe that cooking for someone is definitely a way of expressing love. Absolutely believe that. So they may live apart. Her kids live with her, and it may not be good to have them all live together. But she would have to sell her apartment. Ricardo said, hey, wait a minute, you got grown kids living at home with you? So what's the timeline of selling this apartment and living with me? She's like, it's a matter of when she can sell. When she can sell the apartment. So he said he's old-fashioned, and he wants to live with his first wife. And I'm going to ask this. Why can't she go settle with Ricardo and leave the apartment to her adult children? Why can't she do that? Why does she need to live there with them? I'm asking that. I don't know if she has adult children that may have special needs. I don't know. Even if she still financially helps the apartment till they got it together, why can't she live with Ricardo and not be hovering and living with them? I don't know. Lika and Leo. His family, Lika tells us, expects them to move to his city. And she can't put this off much longer because nothing changes. She wanted to connect with someone. She is frustrated and she's lost her self-esteem. That's not Leo's fault, young lady. That is not Leo's fault. She writes a note. She puts her ring on the note and she leaves. Where's the pendant he gave you? I'm petty, y'all. I'm sorry, I'm petty. Where's the pendant that Leo gave you? Because I think he wearing the silver version and you wearing the gold version. Did you leave the pendant too? Or did you just take that? I'm being petty. I know it. Lou and Mary Roberta, they go to her apartment. This is the first time she's bringing a man there. And he says her house is nice. It's bright colors. It is big. She has a turtle. And animals, all we saw is a cat. She says she's going to invite him to live with her because he has unstable housing right now. Remember, he's living at the gym. And he said if she offers, he won't accept. He says if they have a future, yes, but they won't live there. She says she's sad that he's not on the same page with her and he doesn't seem as invested as she is. But she thinks she can win him over. Now, what I may think with Mario Roberto is I kind of agree with him. That is her place. That is her location and everything. But I'm not hearing him say, well, maybe we can get a place together. And I'm thinking that's what he may be saying. Like, if we do merge, we'll get a whole new place together. So I don't feel like I'm at her place and she doesn't feel like I'm a guest constantly. I kind of understand what he's saying. Or maybe it's the animals. We didn't see all the animals. We don't know. Leo arrives at home. He reads the letter. In the letter, she thanks him for the pod experience. Love and affection, has not been met. It's time to move on. Seek a connection that will align with the great love she wants to have, and she hopes he gets a great love. He said he will remember her as an amazing person. I'm glad one of us will, Leo. Because I ain't. I can't wait for this reunion. I cannot wait for this Brazil reunion and see this foolishness play out. I hope you all check Lika on the stage. But he said it's not, going to be the amazing passion she wanted, but they could have built something solid together. And he would do it all over again. He said, seek happiness and peace within yourself. Well said, Leo, but I still think it's something I ain't seeing fully with you. Were you really sick or you really not into her? Go and see. You ain't no saint, Leo. You ain't no saint, but you were being wronged. Ricardo and Nivea, they meet his friends. They say she seems nice. She engages. They seem very serious about each other. Okay. They never thought he would get married, but they say anything is possible, and they now question him and is he protective of her emotions? Okay. So the advice the friends give Nivea is to be patient with him. Marriage, the friend is married for 17 years, be patient. And that Ricardo does deserve to be loved. So he invites them to his wedding to be his best men. And I thought that was a wonderful, wonderful scene with him and his friends and Nivea. Ed and Ida, they meet Ed's friends. They thought he got scammed and disappeared. what faith did the friends have, Ed, of you handling your business? They thought he got scammed and disappeared. They say he runs from marriage. That there were many famous women who wanted to marry him and he didn't. So Ida said he was waiting for me. So they asked how did she win him over. She said, hey, that was magic. And the friends like her. And they asked, was she jealous? They said, no, she does not obsess over the other person. That's not her style. And the friend said, hey, he has a hectic life. That's one way of saying it. He had a rotational door. Hectic life. Said, she can have him hooked onto her, but he had a hectic life, I guess, dating a lot. So Ed asked his friend to be his best man, and the friends think that they are in love. We learn it's 18 days until the wedding. We see Maria Luisa, remember that was our early narrator, with Nivea trying to get all the goss. Lika broke up with Leo is what Nivea is telling. And Nivea says Lika romanticized and had this whole vision of what she wanted. And because she didn't get it, she broke it off. So Lika came in, y'all. She came in to talk. And she said they had nothing in common and imagined him being more affectionate. And he acted the same with her as he did with others, and she did not feel special. And I said, Lika, once again, you are not seeing it, because he ain't hugging and kissing on Nivea. He wasn't touching the women and caressing their back. You just didn't notice it. Nivea said, did Revo get in the way? Ooh. Did Revo get in the way? Because you would think about Revo. So Maria Luisa says a woman can tell when a man wants her because he will try to conquer her and charm her. Maria Luisa, this is the first time I'm going to tell you, go sit down. Go away. Go away. Don't need to conquer her. He will try to woo her. Doesn't mean he's going to try to conquer her. And you are on this whole plateau of, oh, it needs to be passion and fireworks and all that stuff. Guess what? Fireworks fizzle out. Liga said, when you like someone, you get jealous. No, you don't. No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm like Ida. I ain't getting jealous. My ears going to perk up, but no, I ain't got time for jealousy. Lika says that he did look at another woman. Now, granted, that is disrespectful to some people. If you're looking, I don't care, because I'm probably looking at her too. I'm probably looking, we in Brazil, beautiful looking women and men there. So if a beautiful looking woman passed by, I'd probably be looking too. I probably wouldn't even notice that he looked, because I'm like, ooh, okay, looking good. So Lika also, I don't trust your assessment of stuff. You then said he ain't kissed you all day yesterday, yet production showed us all the times that he kissed you that day. So I'm really not trusting your reporting. Production, I need you to put out that Leo was looking at other women. I need it, please, because I don't trust Lika's, rendition. Nivea said, maybe, Leo didn't make her feel safe in her emotions, so she really couldn't have a good relationship. Lika said she told him that she would go home if things didn't get better. And Maria Luisa said, you cannot be the only one in love. Lika wasn't in love. Girl. She ain't said everything, y'all. Nivea and Maria Luisa, she ain't tell y'all everything. I'm going to just put a pin in that. So, Mario Roberto and Lou, they go to his home. Remember, his home is at the gym. She thanks him for sharing his special place Okay, she's making an effort. We're going to see if it lasts. Remember, he said, you sound like you tolerate it. She's making an effort to show that she does care and she wants to know. His friends are there. The friend is like, he's not a player. They have never seen him date anyone, but because he can't bring them back to his place. But she does feel welcome by them. They dance. He choreographs a dance. She danced a lot, he said, and she looked like she enjoyed it. Next up, the couples go for a hot air balloon ride. And it's only 3 remaining couples, y'all. Ed and Ida, Nivea and Ricardo, Mario, Roberto, and Lou. They found it quite peaceful and they land and have a picnic. Now, Nivea and Ricardo, when they go back, she cooks for him. He said he was scared about her cooking. I said no. And he told her. But he said it was wonderful. You know, he says it's absolutely delicious and amazing. And then there's a knock at the door. No one is expected. And it's Ricardo's daughter. He was so surprised. He was so emotional. He was so happy to see her. They do, invite her to stay for lunch. And they tell her about the experience in the pods. She says, his daughter says she felt at home with them. It felt like Ricardo and Nivea had been together for years. And she feels they're a match and they will get married. He said the visit meant the world to him. And the song they play is I Felt My Body Wanting You, because it's for Ed and Ida. Now they're at the gym, Ed and Ida. And Ed said there's some laziness with Ida. Ida says she don't like the gym. She'd rather have Pilates. And Ed says she wants to work out her way, and her way can get her injured at the gym. She says she's close to telling him to shove it. And that was the end of episode 8. Oh my God, shove what? She was working out with the weights, y'all. That's why I said that, and I'm having a laugh because, like, oh my gosh, I could see Ida telling Ed to shove it while she's standing there holding those weights. Episode 9, Ed and Ida, they're like, hey, we had our first fight. He says they can work out together, but he will not be giving her any pointers in the gym. Ed is like, I'm going to avoid the fight. Nivea and Ricardo, she takes him to her book club. Men are not allowed there, but he is to meet her book club friends. And he cannot participate. He said the place looked like he about to be ambushed. He see a skull at the front. Then he see black birds inside. The decoration looks like he is about to be ambushed. He said he is happy every day because we only have one life. And he is dodging their questions but being jovial. He says, passion is not love, but she is fantastic. Nivea is. And the friends thinks that she don't think that they're emotionally attached. And she thinks that Nivea will say no. Ed and Ida, he made her his famous lamb. And they moved on from the gym argument. They don't want to waste time on that. And she loves his cooking. 15 days until the wedding. And we are wedding dress shopping. Now, the designer created 2 dresses for each woman, and we find out some other ladies from the pods are there. I'm going to talk about the dresses first, and then we're going to talk about the suits with the gentlemen. So, Sylvia and Justinelli and Luciana came for this special time. Nivea tried on a halter dress with a low back and a jumpsuit with no back, but she chose the dress for her wedding dress. Ida had a short dress with a deep V, but it was bejeweled. The top was bejeweled, but it's short dress in the front and had a trail to the back. Lovely trail. But she also had a longer dress with a slit up both sides with a big bow on the shoulder. Lou said she wanted that first dress showing all that leg, that mini dress with the train. I said, okay. But Ida chose dress number 2, the long dress. She said the first dress was too simple and she could just go out dancing with her friends in it. And the second dress makes her feel like a bride. Lou tried on the first dress with a slit and a deep cleavage and a deep back. And the other dress has a pleat on the side. She was disappointed and she told them that there was no beading on the dresses and it didn't look like the wedding dresses she wanted. She says Ida's dress, the first dress, was more her style, but she doesn't want the dress because it wasn't made for her. Her first wedding dress, we learned from Lou, was when she was 16. I said, daggone it, Lou. Wow, that's young. Y'all tell me in Brazil if it's usual for this age group to get married at 16? Was that really, really usual? I'm interested to know. Again, Lou said that her first wedding dress was at the age of 16, and it was the same dress she wore on her 15th birthday. Now, Lou makes a choice for wedding dresses, but she's going to keep it a secret until her wedding day. I like that, Lou. I like that. Now, the men go suit shopping, and the only man from the pod I saw there was Wagner. Interesting. Mario Roberto got a yellow suit with a sash. You know, Lou loves yellow. Ed had a burgundy suit. Even the shirt was burgundy. And Ricardo had a gray plaid suit, and it almost looked a little shiny, like it was kind of silkish. It looked really nice, refined. So they all go home, and they all share the wonderful experience they have. Mario Roberto does not tell Lou that his suit is yellow. Ida and Ed. He's cleaning up the kitchen, throwing away leftovers. She works all day, and leaves the housework for later. Ed said, "You're on your phone a lot." She said, "I work on my phone and I work all day." He said, when she wakes up, she's on the phone. She goes to bed, she's on the phone working. He said she got to pitch in at some point. Okay, she got to pitch in. So he said, "Hey, we need some working hours. You need to pay attention to your partner." Ida said he is right. She has to know when to stop working so she can include him in her life. I love that conversation with them, where Ida and Ed were like, "Hey, I understand that I'm leaving you out of things, and I'm going to make a better effort to include you." I like that he said it, she received it, and she's willing to make adjustments. Nivea and Ricardo, they take a sailboat with his brother. The brother never thought that Ricardo would get married, but this is the only way he would do it. Like strange like this. So Nivea asked for secrets. The brother's like, "My lips are sealed." But they had a wonderful day. His brother likes her, and she might be the one for him. Ricardo said this is one of the best days that they have had. He was steering the sailboat and everything. They looked like they had a great time. Ida and Ed meet her kids, and the kids say, "Well, how did you pick him?" She's like, "I heard the bass in his voice and I knew he was a black man." I was like, no. The kids knew she was going to come home with a black man. I thought it was hilarious. So Ed shared that he'd been married about 4 times, but it wasn't official. How does that happen, Brazil? Tell me, how does he be married 4 times, but it's not official? Do you have common law marriage where if you live with some person long enough, you're considered married? I would like to know more about that. The kids, talk to Ed and they realize, oh, he's a player. He's a player. But Ed shares that he really liked Ida because she adopted her kids. She had, remember, her first kid is of her, and she adopted the other 2. He said he's worked with at-risk kids before, and he knows it's not easy. So she feels like she made the right choice, okay? But her daughter says maybe we can hang out more and learn more about him, and says, "Mom, go for it." Nivea and Ricardo. Nivea says, you want us living together after marriage. He's like, how much time should he wait? He wants to live together right now. So she says she supports the house. The kids, the money they earn is theirs because they have college debt. And one is actually helping the other pay off their debt. Ricardo said it's hard for him to understand because he left home at 17. So then they talked about their bills, and she's like, we will share them. In the past, her husband earned way more than her, so he contributed more. But when she started earning more, she contributed, a percentage of her earnings. He says it's best for everyone to share the bills in proportion to their income. He is not comfortable with one person paying for everything, a man or a woman. He said in his daughter's shoes, he would not want her with a partner who's going to pay for anything. And pay for everything, I'm sorry. I wonder if that's because of his need for freedom, if he probably thinks that the person would be more possessive of him if they did pay for everything. He said he's been in relationships where the woman made more money and he did not take advantage of him. But she, finds safety in material stuff. Now, her kids did not support her moving on after her husband passed away, or how she grieved the fact that she got up and started living her life again. They do not support her new life, and they did not support her going into this experiment. But she's exercising her freedom and teaching them that. He's like, we're not here to teach our children. They are here to teach us. And Nivea, surprisingly, she agreed. He felt the conversation was intense and deep and what they needed. He felt that she was a little bit shaken up, and he said he needed to give her a hug to kind of ground them together. But he said this is bringing them much closer. Lou and Mary Roberto, they go to the gym. They're on the treadmill. She is stressed about the wedding, and she is not sleeping well. Mary Roberto says all she wants to do is gossip about the other couple. He is used to keeping things close to the vest, not just gossiping and sharing information. Ida and Ed, they go and they make their own rings. They make each other's ring, and they love the experience. Now, I've seen this on other Love is Blind, and it's either Mexico, Argentina, or Brazil. I saw that, and I think it's wonderful that they did that, and we saw the whole process. Last date, y'all. Last dates. We have a last date before they separate, before the weddings, okay? Ricardo and Nivea are out to dinner. He is worried about the wedding. He's worried about the cohabitation. He says they are different. They don't really have the same values. He doesn't like material things. She says she doesn't know why it gave him the impression that she's about material things. She says she has her flaws, but that's not one of them, and she resents that he said that. He said, this is how I feel. We are different, but we're not too different. So she says, hey, well, I stayed home today while you were out and I wrote my vows. He said, I didn't know we had to write vows. He said he doesn't know that that's part of the process. He wishes she had told him. She's like, always a step ahead of him, he said. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to calm down. I'm going to calm down. Let's get through this. He asked for her to tell him these things in advance. She's like, hey, I watched the show, so I know this is the next step. He said he didn't know. He didn't know that this was the next step. And he doesn't believe that she didn't have insider information. He doesn't like that she had foreknowledge of what they should do. So you're going to penalize her for this? Your ignorance or lack of knowledge, you're going to penalize her for this? So she said she watched the show. You didn't watch the show. But even if you didn't watch the show, Ricardo, have you been to any weddings? Your friend said he'd been married for 17 years. People usually write their vows. How did you not think that was going to happen here? You write your vows. You go on a show. This is the 5th season. You could have watched at least one Love is Blind Brazil or any of the other, in international. And that's what they all do. Write vows. So your lack of knowledge, your lack of research, now she got to pay the price because she did knowledge, she did research, and now she's doing the process. So you're going to penalize her for that. So Nivea thinks that he is not that invested in the process. He said this doesn't work. He got angry, y'all, that she had information that he didn't. I'm like, she watched the show. She watched the show. She goes to weddings. She knows. He said, now she's sad? Well, I'm sad too, because she didn't tell me anything. She said, I will say this clear, but I don't know if you will hear you. Okay? But I'm going to say this one more time. I don't know if you will hear. He said, what's the point? He doesn't believe she told him the truth. It's fine, but he's disappointed. She's like, but you think I lied to you. You think I had insider information. It's not insider information. Y'all, he stands up. He says, excuse me, that's not how it works. You had inside information and you claim not knowing anything. She's like, no, I did not lie to you. It's not inside information. It's open information if you watch the show. He said, okay, and walks out. Nivea says, I don't know what happened. I don't know either. How does he walk out because he didn't know? Because he didn't do it. Said, oh my gosh, I didn't know. I need to do it. He's embarrassed. And it is not our fault you embarrass her. You have just embarrassed yourself even more. Now you still got to do your vows. You still got to do it. Are you not going to show up for the wedding? Anyway, y'all, that is the end of the episodes for this week. I hope you will continue to enjoy the recaps, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel.